Okay, let's look at... Okay. I mean, might as well, right? Since a lot of people have been talking about it, let's look at the statistics. Yeah, right now, Reaper is top damage, but not by a lot. This top damage is mainly because of RDPS, right? If you go by 95 percentile, Reaper is okay. Reaper, because of a red buff and how good their own ADPS is, right? Because of how good their own ADPS is, so the red buffs bring them really close, and in like super optimal situation, bring them even on top. But overall, I think Reaper is okay. Like if you were to just go by say 80 percentile, right? I think Reaper is okay. I feel really sad for Ninja. I don't know why. Because I don't think Ninja gameplay is like bad or anything, right? But it's pretty bad. Now, luckily, this expansion, you got a Viper. So even if you main a Ninja and Ninja suck, you can play a Viper. But man, this is not acceptable. You guys want to know where the potency is missing? I actually said this yesterday. The potency is missing because they screw up the kunai dagger and they put it on the wrong skill. The Kaze Matui gauge, right? That buffs Aeolian Age by 100 potency, right? That buff should be on Raiju, not Aeolian. Because we don't really do Aeolian in our 1 minute. We don't really do Aeolian in our 2 minutes. Maybe one Aeolian, but we don't really do a lot of Aeolian Age. And I think that 100 potency put it there is kind of like a waste. If they put it on Raiju, right? Despite that, though, I still think Ninja maybe would just be here, you know? It's clearly the odd one out, right? I don't care about Picto, right? I'm looking at Mong. Like, this is not an acceptable gap. This is the same gap Reaper had in 6.0 until 6.3. This is really awesome, though. Don't change anything. I think melee is fine, except Ninja. This is not okay. Okay, now, casters. We don't talk about Red Mage, we don't talk about Summoner. We know this is exactly where they deserve. Yoshi P gave them a rest. Yoshi P gave them Red utilities. So for these two jobs, being here is fine. Because they're gonna be top picks. Either in proc or Summoner top pick because of how easy to play. And people just want to have a good time. A fun time. A relaxed time. So Summoner belongs exactly where it belongs. Red Mage belongs exactly where it belongs. Black Mage though. Dude, Black Mage and Ninja got The only difference is that Ninja got in one hole, Black Mage got in all holes. Feels bad, man. Is double caster viable with Picto? Double caster has always been viable. It's just that when you run double caster, you need to make sure that one of the double caster is the pure DPS and the other one is the rest. 6.0 and before, right? If you want to run double caster, it's viable. You make sure that you run a Black Mage and a Summoner or a Red Mage. You don't run double caster, Red Mage and Summoner. Now, even then, that has got its merits. In proc, turn 1, 2, 3, you bring Summoner and Red Mage. You got unlimited recovery, right? That helps for proc, right? But rather than saying double caster, is it viable? At the moment, right, for a longest time, right? 1 melee, 1 physical range, and 1 magic. These 3, as long as it's locked in, your 4th one, you can run anything. Now, preferably, you don't run a 2nd physical range. Preferably, you don't run another caster that is not Black Mage. But if you want to run Black Mage as your last slot, that's fine. You run melee as your last slot, that's fine. So Picto doesn't change anything. Just because Picto is good, that doesn't change the fact that double caster has always been viable. Same situation. If you run a 1 double caster, make sure you run Picto and you run Red Mage. You want to run double caster, make sure you run Picto and you run Summoner. Do not run Picto and Black Mage. Do not run Red Mage and Summoner. Except for turn 1, 2, 3 early proc. The only difference this time is 7.0 is that because Black Mage is so bad, if you want to run double caster, you better make sure it's Picto. Black Mage now is not viable. Even a version of Ninja right now is better than the Black Mage. If you want to run double caster, make sure it's Picto and Red Mage or Picto and Summoner. It's still fine. It's just like before. It's the same as 6.0. And I wouldn't really say it's because of the potency. It's also the gameplay. It's just way better. It's fun to cast. It's fun to move around. You just have to make sure that your burst is done properly and prep properly, right? But otherwise, those in between, you can do anything. Make sure you don't die. You can move around. It's completely opposite of a Black Mage. Black Mage is, I can only play within this area. I just have to make sure that I can somehow do mechanic within this area. Picto can play the entire arena. You know what I mean? Picto can move anytime. No, Picto is not going to get nerfed. Picto is fine being here. It's Black Mage that needs to be nerfed. I'm sorry, Black Mage that needs to be bumped. Picto Samurai being here is okay. I would argue that Viper should be slightly below Samurai, but looking at numbers, right, I think they're so close, I don't think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. If you tell me that Viper is here consistently on 4th place and the difference is only 2 DPS, I'll take it. I play by myself. I don't have to care about how other people do, right? Reaper, Dragoon needs to care about what other people do, right? Picto is the same, right? Picto, you're playing the party, most likely it would dip a little bit, but still way better than Black Mage. That's the problem. That's the problem. The problem is that Black Mage potency is too low. The problem is not because Pictomancer potency is too high. So no, I don't think Picto will get a nerf. I think Black Mage will get a buff. Black Mage needs at least 3 patches of buff. Ninja is a very easy fix. It's a potency problem. If they want to truly tune it a little bit, make Kaze Matui buff 100 potency on any finisher. Both Raiju, Armor Crush, Aeolian Age, Phantom Kamai Tachi. Anything that is a 1 button or finisher should just use a dagger. 100 potency. That would actually fix Ninja a little bit. All these 5 millis are fine. Don't let the ranking make you think that how good the job is, right? If they are this close, it's fine. Now you see, we are talking about max. We are talking about most optimal gameplay. So red buff will always pull up. Now you look at 50% down. You look at the average players. Viper's good, that's nice. Samurai's good, that's nice. I feel that Reaper ADPS is too high. For a job with red buff, I think its ADPS is too high. That's why it's so good now. You are a little bit of red buff, man. You can't have this much more ADPS than everybody else, right? I'm happy that Viper is here. I'm happy that Samurai is here. Sad that Ninja is here. You see 50% down players. You see when the red buffs don't get fully utilized, and also 50% down player don't burst properly. Although the gameplay is fun, right? You can move around, you can press a few holy here, you can do some unoptimized movement, use hammer at the wrong time, but you don't die, you move around. It's still good. And then you got Black Mage that cannot stop dropping Astro Fire. Ooh. This job is not fun anymore. This job is not fun fundamentally. With the introduction of Picto, it has shown you that Black Mage is no longer fundamentally fun. It is only workable by people maybe 90% down and above. Maybe. And even then, the potency don't hold up. Look at Black Mage player. Ooh. Nobody wants to deal with this. I don't even think as a brand new player that wants to try out a Black Mage, it's not fun for them. It is no longer a fun job for 90% of the player base. In 7.0 now, on the flip side, you got Picto that is enjoyable for 100% of the player base. That's why I say this again and again and again. Very subjectively, very objectively, non-biased. Black Mage is an outdated job in Final Fantasy XIV already. It is an outdated job. The concept is outdated already. They have to rework this job to fit nicely into the current state of Final Fantasy XIV. It doesn't fit in anymore. At the moment, there's no trade-off. Every single aspect of Picto is more viable today with how the game is played. It's more fun, it's more robust, it's got red buffs, it's got movement, it's got everything. Nothing to worry about being dropped. You can play around it and still somewhat be good. Black Mage, no. Black Mage, no. Black Mage, you drop a fire, it's over. You drop a thunder, you are like, this job has no bargain, right? Picto just feel more generally fun. I mean, I guess that is a TLDR. Picto is just more generally fun. Black Mage is no longer fun. Every job got 3 main aspects. Fun, optimization, and identity. Picto and Viper got all 3. I say Reaper close. I think Reaper 2 minute is tighter than Viper. But Viper 2 minute is hindered by Nauseous Nash. Ninja needs buff though. Ninja needs buff. Ninja definitely needs buff. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, Arthars is because these trials, Tenchi Jin is hard to execute. I know that. Square Enix job is to balance the jobs to the fight. I would rather they do that than make another mistake like Endwalker, where everybody is just standing there, hold hands and do 2 minutes. I think that's boring as I have no problem that I cannot press Tenchi Jin during 2 minutes. I have no problem with that. Because that gives me the choice. That gives me the option. That gives me... It let me decide. Does this mean that I should Tenchi Jin early in the fight? So that I can make sure I can send it here? Or maybe I can tell myself, maybe I just risk it for the biscuit. I drop it. My fault. It is what it is. Rather than, oh my f***ing god, now I completely cannot use it. I think they should balance it. They should balance the fight based on the job that, okay, you know, if you can't Tenchi Jin this, then where can we put in the potency to overcome that shit? That means Ninja is never going to fit the Tenri, Jindo, and the Meisui inside the mark. How do we compensate that? That right there is the balancing nightmare, right? That's their job, right? It's not because, oh my god, oh, Arthars, because Ninja can use Tenchi Jin, that's why they are losing 500 overall. Maybe if they make the fight able to use Tenchi Jin, then Ninja will be fine. I don't want that. Because that sounds boring. I don't want to stand there and do 2 minutes while the boss do red, white, and tank buster. That's boring. Plan Monk changes. While it was our aim to preserve Monk's playstyle, several changes to the okay, significant changes how it feels to play the job. We discovered certain action had incorrect potency, as well as an error pertaining to the requirement to apply stacks. We plan to adjust this in 7.01. Okay, 7.01 is 2 weeks later. So before normal. Before normal? Before normal. Newly released in patch 7.0, we have really received feedback pertaining to the busyness of their skill rotation. Now, this is true. Whether you are a brand new player, an optimized player, a Viper main, and play the class for the last 48, 72 hours, the fact and the reality is, yes, it is busy. To that end, we are planning several improvements. Improvement, not changes, that's good. Including the easing of direction. Okay, this one is important. You know why this one is important? I have no idea what some of the buttons are. Some of them look exactly the same. Sometimes I don't even know which step I am on because it's all blue. When you are pressing this much button that fast and then you are doing the EX throw and the mechanic, sometimes it becomes a mush what button is which. Changing how some button looks or even the debuff color, I think is important. Especially, okay, how come they never talk about Nauseous Nash? Okay, maybe this count as a Nauseous Nash? Okay, so 7.05, they will change some of the effects and the directional requirement. I think the directionals are fine. Oh, quite interesting that they think that directional is a problem. I think Nauseous Fang is a problem. The only one problem I think is Nauseous Nash. Before learning the action Ambroso, oh, okay. So I guess Savage is where they will buff potency. 0.01 is only giving them Ambroso, I guess. There's a side of concern with holding Amity due to the fact certain jobs are able to begin encounters with high damaging attacks. That is Pictomancer. Only Pictomancer. An issue compounded by the removal of damage from Dark Knight and Gunbreaker movement abilities. To help remedy this, we'll be adding increased amity effects to tank area of effect attacks as well as their movement ability. So you know that Dark Knight and Gunbreaker have no more damage. And now in order to remedy it, you're gonna give them more amity in their movement ability. So what? So you're telling me if I use trajectory against enmity? Not in the movement, in the AoE, bro. Light Pulse, I know you're American, you can't read, man, but let me read it out for you, okay? As well, okay, let me read it for you, okay? We will be adding increased enmity effects to tank area of effect attacks as well as their movement abilities, okay? Comprende? Oui, señor? See? Does this mean that for Dark Knight and Gunbreaker, if I use trajectory, even though there's no damage, is it gonna give me enmity? I'm certainly not American. Funny enough, the other language you talk es la quick la base. Por favor, has las mecánicas, hijo de... Comprende, señor? Why do I keep having hand gestures? God damn it. That is Italian, man. I keep speaking Spanish like Italian. So this one is interesting. This one is going to be interesting. Okay, Samurai and Red Mage. Okay, this is welcome. I played Red Mage a little bit. This is a little bit troublesome. Not long enough, I think. It's surprised that they see this as a problem, you know? It's surprised that they see this as a problem. And they didn't see Nauseous Nash as a problem. I will have to wait and see some of these changes to the effects of several action, smaller adjustment to the range of certain abilities. I want to see whether these two applies to Nauseous Nash. Because it's crazy that if they think that Manification is too short, but somehow they don't think that Nauseous Nash is too short. Like they specifically address this, but they didn't specifically address that. And surprisingly, they addressed directional requirement, which I didn't think is a problem. Okay, we'll be reducing the recast armor of Tendo Setsugeka and Tendo Kaishi Setsugeka. Okay, this one is just so that things will align better. Honestly, I think all 2-minute ability should be 110. For example, Gunbreaker, Bloodfest should be 110. Right now, the problem is that if you got 3 cartridges going to Bloodfest, you will need to spend X amount of GCD, double down, then you can Bloodfest, which then means that Bloodfest is now drifted to the next one. Which then also means that if you want to continue to make this drift align, you need to always play full cartridge into the 2-minute window, which can be annoying. Because you are not always going to do that. Let's just say sometimes there's an intermission. Let's just say sometimes there's a transition, right? And then you go into a 2-minute with 1 cartridge. That's fine. You start your Gnashing Fang, and then you immediately can Bloodfest. And then after that, you immediately can double down. And then you can use your Lionheart combo. But if you do what you've been doing now, 3 cartridge into Bloodfest now drift, intermission happen, 1 cartridge into 2 minutes, now your Bloodfest is drifted. So 110 will make 2-minute drift better. Okay, where is Picto? Oh wow, no mention of Ninja. We have discovered this one we know is gonna happen. We all know this is gonna happen. I am so glad they identified this problem right now. Can you imagine if they identified this problem 3 patches later? Can you imagine if this is mentioned in 7.2? People is gonna go Black Mage, man. Oh my god, you take away my only optimization in this job. I play Pictomancer because I could click on my buff and it makes me feel good, man. I could be 1% better than the other Pictomancers out there. I cannot believe Square Enix took this away from me. Thank God they found out early. Woo! This will be addressed in patch 7.01, but we ask you please refrain from I like this stance that they are taking. Since 7.0, right? Whenever they found that there is a bug or unintentional way to play the game, they tell you that it's wrong. Please don't do it. I kind of like the more aggressive way. Yeah, interesting that Yoshi P have to come out to apologize. Very surprised. Less than 3 days, 4 days, he already come out to say this. Yeah, man, but Viper though, Viper. If Yoshi P is really watching streams, you got so many Viper players playing the job, I'm pretty sure everybody feedbacks the same. Holy f, man, this is a little bit too overwhelming. It is too overwhelming. I cannot even imagine casual players or even normal, competent players are probably struggling with it. It is busy. It is easy, but it is busy. It is easy and busy. Or Dragon, not my problem, man. Go ask Whoops or something. I don't play Dragon.